guys, this is Adam with No Torque Garage, and today we have something a little bit different planned. See, we're on our way to go meet up with a buddy of ours. It's not Tristan today. I think he's busy. I'm going to give him a call a little bit later and see if he's busy or not. But we're on our way over to go meet up with a buddy of ours. It looks like he's going to be buying his first bike today, and it's good for us because now we're going to have another person to go riding around with and have fun with. But from what I hear, the bike's a little bit of a project. The guy said that it's been sitting for a couple years. It doesn't run. He thinks it's just might need a battery, maybe a carb clean or something like that. So we're gonna end up going over there to go pick it up. From what I'm being told, it looks like it's a 1985 Honda Shadow. So it's a little bit of an older bike, but at the end of the day, it's his first bike. He drops it, it's gonna be cheap to fix, and so on and so forth. So hopefully we can go pick it up and it'll look good and he'll enjoy it. He already has a big plan for what he wants to do with the bike, so we are just going to try and accommodate that plan and get it figured out. So stay tuned, and that's what we got going on for the day. Morning, buddy. Hey, what are you getting up to today?
I have a friend's birthday party we're going to.
Oh, 10-4. Okay.
What's that?
Just on my way over to go meet up with Brandon to go look at that bike. Sitting around the table drinking last night, and then all of a sudden we started talking about motorcycles, and not 5 minutes later he looks up and goes, I just bought one.
That sounds like Brandon.
Yeah, here, Brandon's calling me. Let me patch him in.
Hey.
Alright, we're all here.
Hello.
Just,
Same way.
yeah, I'm making my way that way. I'm going to stop and grab some breakfast real quick, and I'll be there. Yeah, I know that we're not meeting till 10. It's only like 20 minutes from my house to get to Tenino, so I got about 10 minutes to grab some food.
Did you tell him how that all came about, Adam?
We were just sitting around drinking and talking about motorcycles.
Yeah, and then I was really quiet for about 5 minutes, and then well, I guess I own a fucking bike now.
Yep. So as you can tell, we have his bike on the lift now at home. So it's a 1985 Honda Shadow. So gonna go ahead and get it pulled. It is not running right now. The starter's dead, but before the battery died, the starter was working just fine. So we're gonna go ahead and pull the tank, get into the carburetor, make sure it's not all disgusting and gross. Go ahead and make sure it's getting spark and all that, and then we'll basically be back with you as soon as the tank's pulled and all the fuel's drained. Alrighty guys, so we got everything pulled apart. Tank's off, air cleaner's out. Just checking the carburetors to make sure they're not all gross and gunked up. I did find out something kind of cool about this bike. It has a sub-fuel tank. So it has its main fuel tank up top, and then it's got another sub-tank at the bottom, which looks like it's probably a couple gallon sub-tank. For the fuel pump and everything else goes into it, I found a couple small issues with it. The fuel petcock, when you go to turn it off, it just starts dumping fuel out of the back of the petcock, so obviously that's fucked off. It needs to be replaced. When we got the bike, it said that the guy said it wasn't running, was assuming it was the battery. However, the battery was charged, and it ran, cranked over, did all that, but it still wouldn't fire. And we may have found the issue for why it's not firing. The spark plugs are black, like real black. Like turn it off at night and you're not going to see it black. So I'm going to go ahead and get new spark plugs into it. We're going to do a compression check while everything is off just to make sure. We're going to check to make sure it still has spark or not, which is a good surefire way of telling if the bike's going to run. If it doesn't have spark, we'll have to look at replacing or cleaning the coils. And other than that, we're just going to keep on dumping it through and spilling fuel on my lift. And we'll get back to you and let you know what the update on it is. Other than that, it is on the lift and getting worked on, and hopefully we can get this thing started today. We'll find out. Alrighty guys, so we have everything pulled apart. We did a spark test to make sure that he is still getting spark, and he is. A couple of the spark plugs were looking really gross, so we're going to go to the auto parts store, get some spark plugs, some new line for a couple breathers that were fucked off and need new ones. We also need to get some coolant for this thing because this is a coolant-cooled bike. It's a water-cooled bike. And I've never really worked on one, so we're going to go ahead and see how that goes. Other than that, we did a compression check, and so far it's getting decent compression. It's not in the optimal range, it's a little on the low end, but it should be okay to at least get the bike started over and turned over. When we get back, we need to run down the fuel line to make sure that fuel is going through the line and getting to the carburetors, because it is a nice dual carburetor setup. So we're going to go ahead and go to the auto parts store now, go pick up our parts, come back here and try to get the bike started today and running. That way, instead of worrying about getting the bike mechanically sound, we can get it custom and looking great. Alright guys, so we came to a conclusion. We have spark, we have compression, we have everything good to go, but our fuel pump's not kicking on. So we're going to go ahead and spray down each inlet for the carburetor and see if we can't get this thing fired off. But it's got 2 imports, so we have 2 spray bottles. We're getting a second spray bottle set up. So I'm just going to sit there and start spraying into it while he launches it and tries to see if we can get this thing going and rocking and how it wants to do. See if we can't get this heifer started. So we have to get a fuel pump on order, because that fuel pump, it's clicking, but not every go. Like, sometimes it comes on, sometimes it doesn't come on. So now we're just gonna bypass basically the entire fuel system in here and just start spraying fuel into the fucking cylinders and
That would do it, goddammit.
get her going. It's a very volatile situation because we do have a battery hookup. Let me just put this thing in.
Is that for your bottle?
I'm just gonna hold both bottles and spray it. You're gonna work everything else.
Okay. I do gotta spray this. Okay.
Make sure it sprays.
Yeah.
That shop already reeks of fucking fuel anyway. It's probably for the best. He's got a whole lot of cleanup to do because he got fuel all over the bottom. He got coolant all over everywhere. Fucking make sure the dog doesn't get any of it.
Fucking fingers burning. Gas.
Ready? Alright, we're not going to do that because I just had a big fireball come out of the fucking carb. Alright, well, we got it running. It runs. We know it runs. Burn the rest out. I think it's all burnt out. We're good. Alright, well, we know it runs. So there's that.
What all needs to be ordered?
You need, well, you can look at doing turn signals and shit like that later. Let's just get the bike running and going down the road. We know that so far all it is a fuel pump.
Yeah.
Um,
Alright, I'll see you later.
No, you're fucking cleaning this fucking mess. You've got coolant all over the ground. You got fuel all over my lift.
I already got the lift done.
You got coolant all over the ground under my lift. Definitely not drinking this beer because now it's probably got fuel and coolant in it.
I gotta at least drink one more.
Okay. So, huzzah. She started.
Huzzah!
I know that beer got fuel in it because as soon as we popped that thing open, fuel went everywhere.
There's a bunch of gas in that bitch.
Where'd my food go? Is it over there somewhere?
I thought it was over there. Where? Oh, it's right here on the table.
Oh.
Yep. You got 2 bottles of varnish gas.
Yeah, varnish gas. And we still have a battery tender hooked up to the bike too. What are you doing? I'm moving it.
Move that.
Move what?
You pull the bike down and then fucking clean under the lift.
Oh, you're actually pulling the bike off the lift to clean under the lift? I was gonna say, you can just dump fucking kitty litter and it'll spread. I'll just come out and sweep it later. You never found neutral, did you? Okay. Here's my bike. Yeah. Yeah, so.
Now we just need to saw. We got it running. That don't mean it's gonna fucking go up and down the driveway.
The only other thing I'm worried about is trans.
Yeah, you see how
But after you start going down the road,
it might have been sitting for so long. You know.
well, we'll see what happens. After you start going down the road, it might work itself out. For a shop mascot, you're really not smart. Yeah, I mean, long story short, we know it runs. You know, if you wanted to run for a longer amount of time, we could undo the fuel line at the T. Jimmy rig a fucking tip onto one of these bottles. And just hold the bottle upside down right here. And fucking turn her over. You want to do that? These two, okay. Right here. This one that has the red and black line.
Yeah.
That one that goes down is the one that goes out the other end of it.
This guy right here.
Yeah.
So all we need to do is gravity feed.
But we gotta find a tip or an end to stick on one of those bottles. Can you go, please? I need you out. Thank you. I don't want you to lick up any coolant or gas that's on the ground right now.
Well, I got it pretty much underneath.
Yeah, well, it's gotta sit. I'm gonna let it sit for a little bit, then I gotta move the lift later. Actually, you know what? That might be the new fucking normal. Leave fucking Kenny, let her under the lift for when your ass is here with your bike.
You hear about this bottle?
Hey. What's in it? No, I don't care about the bottle.
That's kind of full. Oh, it's only 70% though.
I can go get another bottle. On the bright side, at least when the bike runs. Not bad for $500.
No. Only spent 10 minutes workout.
Only spent 10 minutes working on it.
It actually run for a few minutes like that. So the tank, I don't think the tank actually fills up, dude. Because
That's where you fill it up at the gas station, yeah.
and then it goes to that bottom tank. What a fucking shit design. I bet you're good.
Yeah, this is the end, right? Alrighty guys, that's going to do it for today with the 85 Honda Shadow. Now we have to order in a handful of parts. We need a fuel pump, we need a fuel petcock, we need to trace down a little bit of wiring, we're going to need headlights, turn signals, and all the works, because nothing that we have on there right now wants to work right. Turn signals work every now and again. The headlight definitely doesn't come on, which could just be a bulb, but we're going to go ahead and do something custom, because that's just what we do around here. Now, on another note, No Torque Garage is taken off perfectly. It's looking exactly how I'm wanting to. It's exactly what Tristan had his idea on. I've got 2 longevity builds sitting in the garage right now. I've got the 80s shovelhead and I got the 78 shovelhead. Now, with those builds comes a lot of time and a lot of money, obviously, because of what we want to do to them and how we expect them to leave the shop. Now, we don't want to turn anything out that's not going to work right, that's not going to be consistent, and what's just not going to look good. We want everything that leaves the shop to look good, sound good, run good, and last for the long haul. But those builds are going to be taking a little bit longer than I had planned to get going and taken off. Now we have the 85 Shadow that's going to be in my garage for a little while because he just went through everything with me about all the custom stuff he wants to do, what he wants the bike to look like, and basically how he wants it to be. And it's going to be a bike that he can get on any day of the week that he wants to, go for a long ride, short ride, it doesn't matter. But it definitely has a few kinks to work out and a whole cooling system that I'm trying to figure out how to work with. But with that said, I also am happy to say that we found another customer today as well that's looking to bring his bike in. It's a little bit newer, not insanely new, but newer than the kind of stuff I'm used to working on. He's looking like he's going to bring in a mid-2000s to a late 2000s Softail. He has a bunch of custom work he wants done to it, possibly a little motor work. Now we're going to find out exactly what he wants and how much he's willing to spend on it when that time comes. But thank you guys for watching, and I hope that you guys have enjoyed the content from the last video. It's kind of taken off a little bit more than I expected it to. I expected it to be a pretty rough one, and just because of how bad it looks. It looked horrible, but hopefully with this new camera setup and combo that I've got working with and the dedication that we're willing to put into it, I think this channel can really take off and be pretty good. So thank you guys for listening on to me ramble, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.